Hello, Professor. Hi, everyone. I am Surya, and we are Team 5. I have Cynthia, Christopher, and Brian in our team. Now, I'm going to present to you about Lending Club dataset, which we selected as our dataset for the final project. So first, let me start with introducing Lending Club to you. Lending Club is an online peer-to-peer lending platform where borrowers can obtain loans and the investors can purchase notes backed by these loan payments. Due to the very low operating margins of this model, the savings are passed on to the borrowers and investors, which means lower interest rates for the borrowers and higher returns for the investors. After looking at a number of data sets, we found this one particularly interesting because of their business model, which is a disruptive technology in the financial industry, and also can be termed as the Uber of the finance industry. So the business problem we are trying to solve here is creating a model which can predict the potential defaulters and late payers using the variety of data mining techniques we will be learning from this course. Using this model, we will be able to identify the most and least profitable borrower segments based on various characteristics and decrease the bad debt rate, thus improving the profitability of the business. Our source for this dataset is Kaggle, the online data analytics platform. Our dataset contains records of the borrowers and the loans they received. It has 77 columns and almost 888,000 observations. These columns are a good mix of number of quantitative and qualitative variables which we will be using in our analysis. Some of the examples of these variables about the borrower are ID number, employment name, annual income, home ownership status, etc. And some other examples of about the loan can be loan amount, payment terms, interest rates, purpose of the loan, status of payment, etc. In our preliminary analysis, we loaded the dataset to RStudio and looked at its dimensions. To better understand the dataset, we obtained summary statistics like mean, median, range of key variables like loan amount, interest rate, annual income, etc. We started preparing the data by cleaning the data a little bit by eliminating the observations which are missing some important information needed for our analysis, and we'll also continue to clean the data throughout the process. We also started consolidating some variables into fewer classes by grouping them together and clustering these observations together based on loan payment statuses. In our analysis, the characteristic loan status will be the dependent variable. We will try and identify the best indicators to predict the potential defaulters from the lending club borrowers. Since the probability of defaulting is not a continuous variable, we decided to use logistic regression. Then, using the backward selection method, we will begin with all the available variables and eliminate the ones which do not show any correlation or very little correlation till we are left with the necessary characteristics. We'll identify multicollinearity among the remaining variables to further reduce the number of variables. Then, by applying the WAD test, we can build a model to predict the specific borrower segments that are responsible for bad debts. We can also demonstrate our findings using various graphs and plots, like the tree diagram, for example. It will be a good representation. The first risk we see with our analysis is that the data we have is a point-in-time data, which is like a snapshot of the situation at the time which the data was collected. We do not have any information about the historical background of the loan payments of these borrowers. Another important risk is that, for the purpose of our analysis, we classified the debtors into two categories, late repay and normal, which is relatively a simple classification, and in the real world it is much more complicated with so many different situations. Other common risks with our dataset, like any other datasets, are confirmation bias by possibly eliminating some important variables which can be crucial for our analysis. Another common risk is statistical insignificance. Like I said earlier, this data is just a snapshot at a given time and do not give us any insight into the customer's history of loan payments. So, with this, I conclude my presentation. Thank you very much for listening, and I appreciate your feedback. Thank you so much.